right, welcome back. So now we're going to be talking about finding slope when we're given 2 points. Now, we can use this slope formula either with our graphs, because we can find the 2 points and then use the slope formula, or just when we're given 2 points. Now, yes, a rise over run, if you really wanted to, you could graph these 2 points and then count the rise over run. But in my opinion, that's more work than it is just to subtract the numbers. So what we need first is that our slope formula is m equals, we are going to say y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. Now, the 2 and 1 just represent the point. So if I call this point 1, right, so here's point 1, and this is point 2. Then this would be x1, y1, and x2, y2. Now, all you really need is to make sure that whatever point you choose your y from first, that's the one you choose your x from. So I could, or I'm going to set this up the order it tells me here. So m will equal y2 would be -2 minus y1, which is 0, over x2, which is 3, minus x1, which is -1. So that's one way I can set it up. I could also set it up 0 minus -2. So it'd be y minus y over -1 minus 3. Either one of these I can do. Notice that our 3, -2, -1, 0 as a point is vertical. They match vertically. 0 with -1, -2 with 3. They have to match vertically. If I have like I cannot do -2 minus 0 and then -1 minus 3. That I cannot do because that's going to mess with my signs. But if we continue with where we are, -2 minus 0 is -2. Over here, -2 or 0 minus a -2 becomes plus a positive, and we get a +2. And you may be like, wait a minute, Mrs. Cartwright, just hold on. 3 minus a -1 becomes 3 plus 1, which is 4. And over here, -1 minus 3 would be the same as -1 plus a -3, if that helps. So same sign, we're going to add, which would be 4, and keep the sign. So here we have -4. Notice we still got 2, we still got 4. One of them are negative. It doesn't matter which one, because a negative divided by a positive is going to become a negative. And then what goes into both 2 and 4? 2. And so we end up with 1 over 2. So either way we set it up, we ended up getting the same answer, that the slope of our line through those points is a -1/2. Why do I do both of them for you? Because I want you to understand I just need to do y minus y over x minus x, and whatever point I pull from first for y has to be the point I pull from first for x. Okay? That's just how it has to be. So I have to match my points up vertically. So one way that you could set it up is you could take your points and just put them y over x, and then y over x, and then just put subtraction in between and a fraction bar, and you've got your setup for your slope. Just FYI. That's all it's got to be. Now, we're going to talk about slope trends real quick. If you have a positive slope, it's going to go up from left to right, and it doesn't matter how steep or not steep. If it is going up from left to right, it's a positive slope. If it is going down from left to right, this is a negative slope. And again, it can be really steep. It can be almost flat, but not quite flat. But those are, this is a positive slope. This is a negative slope. Now, knowing this helps you double check yourself, Because if you're finding the slope from a graph, then the visual itself should tell you whether your slope is positive or negative, or help you in that fact. Oh, excuse me. But also when we start graphing ourselves, knowing if it's positive or negative, we're going to know whether or not we graphed the slope correctly, just because we know which way the line should look. Now, if we have a horizontal line, that is a 0 slope. So that's just like one of these lines right here. That's a horizontal line. There is no slope to it. And then our other is the vertical, and that's an undefined slope. And the reason for that is because there is no change in x. And if there's no change in x, then we have any number over 0, and we cannot divide anything into 0 parts or 0 equal groups, because at least one group of 1 exists. And so that's undefined. One thing I tell students that if it helps, you can draw or imagine a stick figure over at the most right-hand side of your graph. And if he is walking up the hill, I said left-hand side of your graph. If he is walking up the hill, then it is positive. If he is skiing down the hill, it is negative. If he's got a nice flat walk ahead of him, then it is 0. But if he's holding on for dear life, or doing the impossible and walking up the side of the wall, then it is undefined. Let's see how I've drawn this in the past. Okay. So, but if he's having to hold on as if he's climbing a pole, then it's undefined because we can't stand on that. All right. And that is it for slope. See you when we start talking about graphing direct variation.